Hey everyone. Hi, this is Sue Simmons. Before I get started, I just want to say that I really hope that back to school is off to a good start for you and yours. I know this is a wicked time of year, so I'm thinking about you all moms. So if you want to understand why your child is so stressed all the time, then you need to stick around. So welcome to episode 15 of To the Spectrum and Beyond. Why is my child so stressed and what can I do about it? All right, so why is your child so stressed and what can you do about it? Well, that is a big loaded question, and that's why I wanted to talk about it today. So I have here with me a book written by Dr. Barry Prezant, who is a well-known researcher in the field of autism, a really neat guy. I highly recommend that you get this book. It is the winner of the Autism Society's Temple Grandin Literary Work of the Year Award. It's a groundbreaking book, and it's about a different way to see autism than we've all been taught, which I'm so on board with what Dr. Prezant says in his book. So, you know, there is so much stigma still around autism, and people just don't get it. They just do not understand what autism really is. So I'm going to help you understand a little bit more and why your child is so stressed. And your child has very good reason to be stressed out, okay? So we often see people on the autism spectrum, well, not me, but many of us, as being radically different. And on the outside, it may appear that they are, but really they are not. They are uniquely human. And so in his book, I'm just going to read a passage here because I think this is a real important one. Here's my central message. The behavior of people with autism isn't random, deviant, or bizarre, as many professionals have called it for decades. These children do not come from Mars, okay? They're human. The things they say aren't, as many professionals still maintain, meaningless or non-functional. To help them, we don't need to change or fix them. We need to work to understand them and change what we do. And this is my central message. As a mom, I learned to do things differently, and so can you. And it changes everything, I promise you. So here's the thing. The wiring in your child's brain is different. So your child is not a typical child. The wiring in the brain is different. And what does this mean? Okay, let's remember your child is not from Mars, okay? So what this means is that your child was unable to participate with you in the guiding relationship, which is how we develop and grow, is through relationships with our parents and caregivers. So your child could not participate in this guiding relationship, okay? And so this means that your child's development did not take place in a typical fashion. So what does this mean? So this means that the way your child thinks is different, okay? So your child isn't able to necessarily borrow your perspective. Your child may lack self-awareness. Your child may have difficulty sort of what we call dynamic thinking on the fly. So if he encounters a problem, trying to figure out how to solve that problem on the fly, which is why, and you know, it's related to this is the rigidity that we see in our kids. And this is why when plans change, it's so challenging for them. They have difficulty saving and organizing personal memories, and they may not learn from past mistakes, okay? Mental time travel. So if you encounter a problem, normally, boop, in your brain up would pop a memory that's very close to that experience. Thank you for the like. And so your child may not be able to do this the same way. Am I making sense? Okay, self-awareness, understanding how he or she is impacting other people in the environment. So, you know, what does all this mean? What this means is that your child is living in a chaotic, world, your child is likely, you know, being driven from therapy to therapy or lesson to lesson. And all of this is more processing that is required for your child to do. Making sense? So if you have difficulty with these mental processing tools that typical people can take advantage of seamlessly, it's one thing. But your child can't do that as easily. It takes way more work, way more effort. And so being, you know, driven to place to place to place and booked solid is creating a lot of stress for your child. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's more work for your child. So I want you to think about this. Do you view your child as being radically different? Be honest with yourself, okay? Do you think your child is radically different? Or do you view your child as being uniquely human? So I'm going to ask you a tough question here. I want you to put yourself in your child's shoes. So your world is confusing. Your world is very stress-inducing. Your world is very anxiety-provoking. So how is this going to feel? Imagine yourself in this situation. Okay, really try that on. Put yourself in your child's shoes. I learned early on in my training how an autistic child thinks, what it's like for them. You know, what is their experience of the world? And it's very different from your own. So your child every day is feeling nervous, anxious, afraid. Okay, and that can't be fun, right? It just can't be fun. So if communication was an issue for you, and this was you in this situation, what would happen to you when the demands of your environment outstripped your ability to kind of untangle all of this information or process it? It would cause behavior, right? Of course it would, because you wouldn't be able to keep your shit together. And that's what happens with your child. So why is this control thing such a big deal? Why is my child is nervous? Why is he trying to control everything? Well, think about it. If you know what's going to happen, then you're going to feel less stressed, right? So it's less work for you to process if you know what's going to happen. That was a huge aha for me when I learned this. So your child is not trying to be a shit. Kids do well when they can. Okay? Kids do well when they can. Now, there are going to be times when your child will try to avoid doing things. You know, your child is human, right? He knows when he feels incompetent. And your child does not want to fail. And your child has had multiple experiences of failure because he didn't develop the resilience that he would have through typical development. Okay, I hope this is making sense. So here's the thing. You know, no one tells us how to parent our ASD children, right? All we're told is to stop the behavior. And you know, through therapy to try to make them look more normal. That's not helping anything in your child's brain. That's not helping your child become more flexible. And your child's brain is every bit as capable of change as yours or mine. And that is the really exciting news. Thanks to neuroplasticity, if we give our child the right kinds of experiences that aren't overwhelming, but this just stretch their ability to think, your child can learn to think more flexibly, can learn to think out of the box, can learn to relate to people, can build honest to goodness relationships. Okay, and that's what I was able to do with my son, and I've worked with many people who've been able to do the same thing. So here's the clincher, all right? So when we are parenting without having other information, what do? Well, we expect our kids to be able to do everything that typical kids do, right? You know, come here, do this, do your homework, do that. Well, it's too much. It's too much and it's overwhelming, and that's why you see the behavior mama, okay? We can't parent our kids with ASD the way we parent typical kids. It don't work. And if I asked you, how's that working for you? What would your answer be? I think I know. I think I know. So, you know, it's as frustrating for you as it is for your child. And I get that. And I have been there. Trust me. Okay. So listen, I want to offer you a solution. So what I want to do is I want to like shine a light into the darkness and help you see what you couldn't see before. Because to really change things, you need support. Okay. You need a seasoned, trusted guide. And you need the support to make this happen. And you deserve to learn how to feel more successful as a mom so that you can have enjoyable experiences with your child. You can help learn to communicate with him in a way that he or she can really hear you. Try that on. Imagine being able to, you know, sidestep meltdowns. Imagine being able to show up in a way that your child can really, you know, hear you and follow through without nagging. Okay? Imagine being able to know how to set limits in a way that you can support your child to be successful. And this is going to help your child feel more competent. What to do in order to shift negative behavior patterns, because like our kids know how to push our buttons, right? They are human and we react. Building your self-awareness is huge, because once you understand how you show up, you can shift things. You can understand your strong suits and learn to minimize the challenges that you have, and we all have them. You know, we walk around thinking that everyone thinks just like we do, right? No, it doesn't work that way, because everyone has their own behavioral style. Oh, someone gave me love. Thank you, thank you. I'm sorry, I can't see who's here, or I would speak to you. So here's what you can do, all right? If you aren't a member of the Lemons to Lemonade ASD Moms group and you want to join our group, just type Lemons down below, okay? So it's also on my Equinox Family Consulting Facebook page. You can also buy this book, Uniquely Human. I so strongly recommend it. It is, you know, for any parent with a newly diagnosed child or any parent with a child on the autism spectrum. It's a must read, because I want to make life easier for you and for your child. All right. Thank you so much for being here. And by the way, you can download the guide. You can click on the link and all that's good stuff after this broadcast. So if you're watching it later on, you can do that. Thank you so much. Take her easy. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Okay? Bye-bye.